Welcome everyone to another Games Talk Live podcast. It's going to be a good one today. We got some stuff to talk about, and we actually have big game to talk about. We'll be discussing Crimson Desert a little bit later, but first I want to get into the panel here. Of course, Hargeet is with us, even though I didn't think you were going to make it. Welcome, Hargeet.
But I did make it. Yeah, I'm on a business trip up in Vermont here, and but yeah, I just got in, got everything set up. Hopefully, it'll all work. We'll see how it goes.
All right, Hargeet, what have you been playing this week?
I've been playing God of War Ragnarok. So,
wow,
yeah, it's okay so far.
Nice,
yeah, whatever.
Nice. I didn't care for like the first 10 hours. And I know I shock a lot of people when I say that, but
10 hours, so much.
Yeah, all like the puzzles and stuff there, and like there wasn't a lot of combat in those first 10 hours.
Did you like the first one?
There was a lot of, loved it. I like Ragnarok. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a solid game because after that it ramps up and it's really freaking good. But again, for me, slow burn. And I've had a couple other friends that said the same thing. They didn't like the first few hours. But man, anyways, let's talk. Let's introduce you. That blue number. Holly is with us again this week. Welcome back. It was nice last week. 2 weeks in a row.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I said I'd have to have you back because of Crimson Desert. I already know you're playing Crimson Desert, but you told me you were playing other things. Let us know.
I did. I can't actually say what I was playing. I did.
What you told me. You were like, I can't talk about whatever. So
yeah, I played. There was a playtest weekend for a game that's coming out maybe this year. Although from what I saw, it should be not this year. But
wow.
I did a
not
weekend.
Knowing what it is, you're like, it was just okay.
It needs more time. It needs more time to bake. That's all I would say, right? Without giving anything away about what it is. But then the other thing is I got a full copy of a game to play test for a developer, and I really wanted to play through it and finish it. So I did like grind through it and play through it this weekend, and I have a survey and some screenshots and stuff, right? I need to fill out and send back to the developer. I've been like watching that game for years, and so I was really, really excited to get selected for that.
Without you even telling me, I think I have it in my mind what it is.
I bet you don't.
Oh, really? So it's not that space.
No,
game?
No, it's not that one.
Okay.
It's not that one. Well, it's going to be. I very much enjoyed my time with that one. It's very, very good. So when it does come out, and I can say, I finished it this weekend. So that's why I'm not as far in Crimson Desert as I would have been, because I was playing this other game because I wanted to get through everything and give the developer feedback, right? What needs work and where I hit bugs 100%. And all that stuff. So and plus I wanted to clear that off the plate so I could just kind of dive into Crimson Desert. And
makes sense.
Man, when that game comes out, you will know it because I will be talking all about it.
Cool.
So,
I'll definitely have you back on to talk about it when it does. Yeah, that'll be good. For me, of course, I've been playing Crimson Desert. Y'all know this if you follow my Twitter at all. So I have a lot to say on it. We're going to talk about it later on because there's a lot to deep dive into. But speaking about doing stuff for playing games for developers and stuff, early access stuff, a few weeks back, the guys that I met at the FanFest last year that were wanting to be up and coming developers. It was two young guys. You know, I called them kids because they're kids to me. They're like 21, 22, something like that. Anyways, they could even be younger. I don't know. But anyways, I helped these guys get into like a party with a bunch of people in the know. So they, we're talking to people there. And they sent me like an alpha of the game they're making. And it's very Souls-like. But
That's right up your alley.
To see where it starts and like the game making process. I've never seen an alpha out. I mean, when I talk alpha, I mean it's very like basic right now. The graphics aren't all there and everything, but being able to play through that, it was kind of cool because I've never been a part of that before. But shout out to them. I hope they do some great things in the future. And of course, they have my number. They text me and stuff, and I'll be watching out for them because I'm going to have them on the show, one day.
Yeah, you should.
Because they're aspiring developers, and we should all just rally around these aspiring developers because the AI takeover. Everybody's like so worried about the AI takeover, and it's so funny. Speaking of AI, Hargy, so it's funny. On Twitter, the social media discourse is very disingenuous, to say the least. DLSS 5, everybody was up and up, they're still upset about the whole situation. And it came out that I was wrong, but not because of myself, but I was duped along with everybody else. NVIDIA kind of lied. They stated that they are using sort of a 2D filter over the geometry that's there. And they're, and everybody was calling it a filter, and even NVIDIA said it wasn't. Turns out it is. Okay, fine. That needs to be fixed or whatever, this generative AI stuff. But everybody's going on and on about how, like, I put up a post, and I was pushing buttons a bit with it. I said, hey, I just added a reshade onto Crimson Desert. Don't cancel me because I'm going against the artist's intent. And so people were really mad. It's not about it's not about using mods. It's about generative AI. And I'm like, what do you think DLSS, FSR, and PSR do? They're all generative AI products. Every single one, from the upscaler to the frame gen, it's all generative AI, regardless of what you think. Like it's the same thing. It generates stuff based on what it assumes to be there. And even if it's not there, it'll generate pixels, it'll generate frames, it'll generate things that the artist never even implemented. That's what these things do. So I just laugh about it because, Hargy, that's what it is. It's all generative, right?
There we go.
You're muted.
I'm unmuted now. Look, technically it's not Gen AI, right? Because they're doing a specific thing, right? So Gen AI is general AI. But I don't know if it's going to have, some generative or general. So if it's just generative, then it's very specific to what it's doing. Then yeah, it is kind of like that. But I guess maybe people didn't realize that neural rendering, that's what it's doing. I tried to explain it last time, right? I think, Holly, you were asking, what is neural rendering? Mm-hmm. And it's at the stage before it takes the polygons and matches the texture to it, right? So that texture is going to be 2D. That's the way it is, right? So that's where it's doing its magic, and then applying that to the polygon mesh that you have already, right? So I guess, did people not realize that's what it's doing? I guess they didn't, right? But that is what's happening. So they're making it better before it gets through the whole render phase, right? Where it puts all the different layers, then it does DLSS. And DLSS is kind of just taking what's already there, saying, okay, you've already done all the rendering, I'm not going to make it sharper, right? Cool. And that's sort of a machine learning algorithm, deep learning, right? So that's kind of what it does. This is just doing it ahead of time. So I guess people didn't realize that, maybe, I don't know, but that's what neural rendering is. So it didn't really fool me. I kind of already understood that's what it's doing. I guess people didn't realize that's what it's doing, and maybe didn't understand what it was doing. But it is kind of a filter on the 2D texture that you already have, and then that gets mapped on top of the polygons that are there now, right? So apparently. But anyway, whatever. So apparently, but yeah, they all are kind of upscaling, right? Yeah. What was that?
That's what a DLSS engineer actually came out and said. Yes, that's what they're doing, applying a 2D filter.
Yeah, and that gets done well ahead of the rest of the rendering usually happening, right? So cool, all right. So, but that didn't fool me. I guess I understood what it was doing because it's neural render. I've seen it, so I'm like, okay, fine, I get what they're doing. It's cool. But as far as like the other upscalers, they're doing something similar. They're just doing it at different stages of the actual rendering process.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but whatever. I mean, I'm not sure what the uproar
so,
is about, though. I still don't get why
I
it's a
think
problem.
one thing Zocker tells me, and you know, Zocker is very tech savvy as well. He works in the industry. That's what he does, software, and you know, he knows his shit. He's pretty good at it. And he told me that basically, even when people talk about, oh my God, AI is going to take over and people are going to lose jobs, he's like, unfortunately, yes, that is a byproduct, but also you gain jobs as well because you have to maintain those things. It's not something that is just, oh, you know, we put all this AI into everything and it'll just work itself, work its own magic and nobody has to deal with it. There are people there that have to deal with that stuff and learn that stuff. And those are jobs. So it's just different. He was telling me. I don't know how true it is. That's what he tells me. And I tend to believe him because he's, like I said, very tech savvy.
Yeah, I mean, there's always potential for that. This technology is a little different than the other ones in that it can self-create, as it were. And once you get to that point, it'll be very interesting what happens. But until that point, yes, we're the ones still making all this stuff, programming all this stuff. So it's going to be more capability. But at some point, if it can just create itself, right? So you can.
Well,
can make
but you need the geometry, right? You need the geometry. You need the skeleton.
I'm talking about general AI and robotics.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the case of this, we're doing all the work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, I hit the wrong thing.
Whoa! I like this.
Yeah. I don't know. There we go.
I don't know. Holly, just to wrap this up really quick, because we talked about this last week to death, but if you want to say anything, I guess feel free.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. The Twitter is it's a place. It's a place where people say things. And it's kind of like...
It's a place.
I feel like people are unnecessarily upset about this, at least for now. But, man, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of silly. The whole thing is kind of silly to me. And the people who are saying they won't use AI generated products and things like that, like very high odds that you've already used or played games that used AI in it and you just didn't know it because it's been smaller increments, right? And now like they're really like kicking it up a notch. And so I talked to a developer who's been in the industry for a very long time, who's working on a game now, and he was like, it's been in games for years. People just don't realize it. And so like now we're at the point where it's like, you know, it's really scaling now, right? And so like there's weird janky art like the stuff in Crimson Desert that we've kind of seen, right? Or there was another game recently that had some goofy art, and then like Call of Duty with the 6 fingers on the zombie, right? Like generative art like that is kind of sloppy and stuff, but they use it a lot, so you're catching it now, like you're actually starting to see it because they're using it as placeholders or whatever, and it doesn't get replaced, which is supposedly what happened with Crimson Desert. But it's just more prominent now because also we're seeing it in other forms, right? We're seeing it in Twitter. We're seeing it in other ways where people are pointing out, hey, this is AI, or we're using it this way. Whereas before it wasn't really as prominent in other areas of your life, and it was used in smaller or more behind the scenes things. And now it's more in your vision. So I don't know. I'm not an expert in any of this stuff.
Like, you know, everybody's inundated with, you know, real AI slop on a daily basis.
Yeah,
whether they're on freaking, you know, Instagram and stuff, and you get those stupid reels that you can tell are AI, and you're just like, please stop this nonsense. But
there's overuse and it looks dumb, but
yeah. But let's move along because we've talked about the AI thing last year. Okay, so this is kind of a bad story. Epic Games lays off 1,000 people due to market challenges. They saw a downshift in games like Fortnite. And Tim Sweeney himself had come out and said, quote, "I'm sorry we're here again. The downturn in Fortnite engagement that started in 2025 means we're spending significantly more than we're making. And we have to make major cuts to keep the company funded. This layoff, together with over $500 million of identified cost savings in contracting, marketing, and closing some open roles, puts us in a more stable place." There's that. So, you know, I know they're still making money, a lot of money off Fortnite. However, last year they did have kind of a down year. And when I say down, they're still making billions, but it wasn't as high as the previous year. Hargeet, what say you on the layoffs, man? It sucks, but
Yeah, it does. But I guess, I mean, that must mean that people switched to other games, right? So Fortnite didn't get as much attention, and maybe Arc Raiders came out, that took some attention away. Maybe Battlefield, maybe other games
100%.
just came out and took some eyeballs away. This is just the world, right? It could also just be, short form videos, TikToks or whatever. People went to that instead. There's all sorts of other options. So it's just the world, unfortunately. So if a game like that starts losing momentum, yeah, you're going to start losing jobs, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. That's the way it is. The market decides. The market decides who wins. So
that really sucks. But yeah, I think that's true, Holly. A lot of people went to Arc Raiders last year, and they're still there.
Well, and Battlefield 6 came out last year too, and
Yeah,
like
that
nothing's the king forever, right? I mean, even you could even say like we're seeing we saw Call of Duty have a rough year this last year for a variety of reasons. At least a good chunk of those being Activision's own fault, right? But Fortnite's not always going to be the king of those types of genre either, right? It's going to move on and it's going to be replaced by something else at some point in time. And obviously it's really, layoffs are just a bad thing in general, but it is good to see that finally we're getting away from maybe the extreme Fortnite. Like there is it's the Fortnite effect is what I always call it, right? So it's like, there should be studied like how much that game affected like the industry and other art and other games, et cetera, et cetera. So who knows what the next thing is going to be, but it is nice to see that the multiplayer space is diversifying a little bit more now. That's good.
Yeah, that's true. Remember when it was just all about COD? Like for years it was just like COD, and then Fortnite, and now it's, Arc Raiders, and even I haven't checked it lately, but Marathon might be gaining a little steam. It's doing okay.
Is it like 20-something thousand, I think?
Oh, it went down even more? I haven't checked on it in a while. Wow, I have friends that really like the game, so I'm surprised because they're
had a lot stacked against it, just stigma wise. Even if other people would have liked it, they probably weren't going to buy it. Just because.
So last 24 hours, the peak was 44. So
okay,
44K, which is still okay, but it's not great.
It will stay around for a while.
Yeah, that's what I think. Argeet, this is a good one for you. Xbox Partner Preview has been announced for this week, the 26th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. Among the announced games, there will be Stranger Than Heaven, The Expanse, Osiris Reborn, and Stalker 2. There will also be updates and reveals announced. And I ask you, Hargeet, what do you think will be revealed this Thursday?
Yeah, I think it is Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's all partner stuff, right? So this is not going to be Xbox's own games. Yeah, I mean, there's still plenty of stuff for us to know about coming, games coming this year. We haven't even hit like the June showcase timeframe, right? So there's plenty of stuff available. I don't know if we're going to get more about games that are just sort of imminent. Maybe we just get a redux of some of the things that we know are coming out, and we get to see some more of that. That'd be great. But there's also potentials for games that we haven't heard about, and so I don't know what we're gonna see. Stalker 2, I'm curious, was that like an expansion then, I guess? Is
There
that
must be an
DLC.
update.
it's gotta
It's
be,
a
right?
DLC.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Mhm.
Okay, and we'll see what they come up with. I have no idea what they plan on putting out because I haven't really paid too much attention to that. It just kind of got announced, right? It's like, okay, cool, but at least we're getting another show. Like, so there'll hopefully be something cool. I mean, it could be just things like 007's coming out and Lego Batman's coming out. Maybe we get more trailers for those things. Not
That's
that I need
right.
more.
I forgot all about Lego Batman. I know a lot of people are excited for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
Lego Batman.
included, Hargy.
Oh,
That's one of
yes.
your biggest ones this year.
It is.
Yeah.
Can't wait to play that game.
Hey, I might get sucked into it if it does turn out to be good. Like, you know, the reviewers that I respect in the industry that review games, if they score it pretty good, I might pick it up.
Yeah. But yeah, so, and then First Light, that looks like it's gonna be pretty good. But we'll see. I guess some people will they don't like the Hitman formula. It may not be for them. I do like that formula, so hopefully it'll be a good game. Maybe we get to see more of it, and people will be interested in picking it up. But that's coming out. I don't know. I mean, the oddball would be something crazy like a PlayStation game comes out on Xbox.
I
That'd
don't
be
think
hilarious.
that's happening.
Would when is MLB
MLB.
releasing?
Yeah, MLB.
I thought
usually
it's
comes
out. It's not out.
Is
It's
it
been out, I
out
think.
now?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
think
Well, that
Yeah,
came and
Mav-
went, and I
Mav
feel like I
said
heard
that-
nothing.
Well,
Yeah.
I did hear something. Mav said that it seems to be getting worse every year. Like they're not
Oh,
putting
boy.
as much effort into it. They said he was saying that the graphics are horrendous compared to previous years. Like
That's a shame.
not horrendous, but they're
Wow.
not as good as they were. Like they used to be on top, like one of the best looking games, and he's
Yeah.
like, they're just not putting much into it anymore. And that's how he feels. And he's a big baseball fan, so he loves the game. But that's what I saw him saying on Twitter.
Maybe they need to take a year off and give it some breathing room or something.
Well,
Yeah, you don't
Or
want it to
Sony
start
will allow
turning into Madden. Like
Yeah.
that's.
Dude, I know it's just roster updates at this point with Madden.
Oh, it's so
It's-
bad.
It's crazy. I used to play Madden a lot back in the 360 days, and I just stopped. Like, because I saw it back then. I was like, wait a minute, they're just changing rosters every year, and it's like the same freaking game over and over. Why am I spending this money? Like, you might as well wait every 2-3 years before you buy another Madden. It's not that big a deal. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they could possibly show or announce because again, this is not Xbox first party. This is third party.
Yeah.
And whatever they announce could be going, who knows, straight into your Game Pass, Hargeet. And you could
Oh, that would always be awesome. And generally they have
Yeah.
some that are Game Pass.
yeah, they do. So I don't know. Holly, do you have any idea like what they could show? You have anything?
Well, they've said they're gonna show Stranger Than Heaven, which you talked about, I
Yes.
think a little bit, right? They're gonna show The Expanse, which a lot of people are excited about. I mean, in April we have Replaced coming, so maybe a little reminder about Replaced.
That's interesting.
Probably short, right? But something. And then Mouse PI for Hire comes out in April.
Oh, that's right.
And then Forza is in May, right? I'm just trying to, but that's a first party.
But that's a first
But
party.
yeah, right. Other than that, I feel like there's a lot of I want to say oddball, but I don't mean it like negatively, just like Mouse PI I would call like an oddball. Like it's a really cool game and I think it's got a good following, but it's it's just a unique thing that's kind of not for everyone, but I think it's got a good base for it. I don't know, like other than that,
Yeah.
I'm also trying to think of if they had any specific like marketing for some game. I feel like they don't really do the marketing games so much anymore with third parties, just because they're third party now, right? So I feel like it's
Stranger
not.
Than
They don't.
Heaven.
It looks cool.
What is that one? I don't remember it. I'm looking it up now.
It's by the Sega, the Sega, the ones who do Yakuza. It's the one with the isn't that the one with the big guy who's kind of like,
is it?
Who Nacon said they were going to pull the funding after May?
Yeah.
Isn't that one?
I'm wondering if it is.
I think it is. Let me look.
Oh, no, this is the one that goes back to like 1915.
The 50s. Yeah, and it like, and it does it time? It goes time warps, right? I think it does time warping.
I think so, but it's it's not the one with that big guy.
Okay. It looks really cool though, because I do remember that one and the big guy one. Like wow, these look really cool and interesting.
Hargeet, you might play this, right? Because you're into the Yakuza games.
Yeah, I tend to like them. So it looked like it was going to be something cool. So, but we'll see if we get to see more of it. And the other one that you mentioned, the one with the big guy, that looks pretty good too. So
it does.
Looks interesting. Yeah.
I hope it can get finished before they pull the funding or they find another investor.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I think that one is like it's not by Sega, right? I think that was like one of the people that made Yakuza went off to make their own thing. I think
the one with the big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it's got a lot of the DNA because they work there, right? But yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are excited for Mouse PI. Even in the chat, they're talking about it.
Me too. Yeah.
It's cool looking. It's another kind of Cuphead moment, you know. Like when you first saw Cuphead, it was just like, oh my God, what is this? This is incredible. And people always make fun of me all the time because they're like, oh, Fonz, you just like realistic looking games. I loved Cuphead. Cuphead was amazing, and that artistic style really spoke to me in that type of game because. I remember watching a lot of cartoons when I was little, and they were in that kind of genre, that old-timey look. And so Mouse PI, it's another one like that. It looks really cool for what it is. First-person shooter. It's wild. I want to see how that plays, actually.
Do you want to know what would absolutely make my friggin' year if they showed it there and gave a date? Judas.
Oh. A lot of people are waiting for Judas. That would be good.
Although I think it actually has PlayStation marketing. But it was supposed to release in like fall of 25, then it was it was supposed to release in like fall of 24, then it was spring of 25, and then they just disappeared. Like
Gang of Dragon was the one with the big guy. Thank you,
yeah.
Mig. I see in the chat. Mig's X Elite. Mig X Elite said it. Good. Gang of Dragon. That's the one. Exodus looks amazing. That's the game I thought that you were playing, Exodus. Earlier.
Yeah, no, I'm not playing that. No.
Yeah.
I wish.
I know you're waiting for that one too. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to make a whole video series about that game.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I told you. So yeah, we got the Xbox Partner Preview Showcase happening this Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. It'll be interesting to see what they've got in store for us as far as announcements, but again, we don't know. We don't know. In other news, PlayStation Insomniac has recently stated that they want to show off Wolverine a bit more before pre-orders, and they've doubled down and said that they will be showing more this spring. So in the next few weeks, we should see more Wolverine. And so Holly, are you looking forward to Wolverine at all?
I am. I am excited to play Wolverine. Yeah. I wish I could play it on my PC, but
same. 100% same.
Yeah. It will be the PlayStation. I haven't picked up my PlayStation since Astrobot, so it'll be good. I'll be excited to play that.
Oh, what? Judah Roars in the chat said PlayStation banned Detective Seeds from their program.
They did. Yeah.
Wow. When?
Do you remember what was it? Maybe a month ago, he reached out to a couple people from Blue Point when they were announcing that they were closing them. And he talked to them through LinkedIn and discussed what they were working on. and kind of just the history of, you know, what's happened since they had their God of War game canceled. They went and pitched the God of War multiplayer to Sony and said, we want to do this. And Sony greenlit it. And then Sony canceled it. And then they said, okay, well, how about we do? And they gave them like a list. And they said they kept going back to them and saying, here's another project idea. Here's another project. And obviously, right, like I think that's normal that various project ideas or concepts just get canned before they even start, right? That's normal. But they said that they had been actively trying to get Sony to greenlight one of their projects out of all of these projects for like over a year. And they never greenlit any of them and just kind of put them on the back burner, and then they canceled them. So he had been talking to those handful of people in the background and through LinkedIn and getting their story. And he just put it on Twitter. Like, it wasn't scathing, you know, it was just kind of like, well, Sony didn't really give him anything and they were kind of not really doing anything. Right. Yeah. And so then he said he has been removed and banned from their partner program with their games, which he just found out with, I don't remember if it was with Marathon or if it was going to be with Saros coming up, but they removed him from his program. And I was like, I did the little Barbie meme. Yeah, it just happened. He announced it like a week ago. That Barbie meme where she's like, and I was like, yeah. Sony blocking somebody for saying something mildly unpleasant about them. Wow. Because that's what they're notorious for.
Yeah.
It's bad.
In interesting related news, Hargeet just got picked up with the Sony partner program. They love Hargeet and his take on Sony. So
is that so?
Hargeet, congrats. I know you love Sony so much. But yeah, that sucks. You know, we were supposed to have Detective Seeds on the last 3 weeks. He's been wanting to come on, but he's been going through chemo, unfortunately, and he's been sick. So I just, I tell him, man, just whenever you're ready, come on. I'm not going to force somebody to come on sick. So
he put up today that he was condensing the last of his radiation treatments. Instead of 2 weeks, he was doing every one this week so that he could just get it done and be done with it. So he's really sick this week, but hopefully after that, he's good.
Yeah. That's awful. I hope everything works out for him. But as for the partner program and stuff, that's insane. But Sony is petty like that. So
they are.
Of course. Did we get this?
I said thank you to him, but I didn't put it up. Thank you, Soil Tech. I appreciate you very much. Yeah, awesome guy. Of course, we talked to him in person at FanFest. Mo, he's a great guy. So going back to Wolverine anyway, I'm excited for the game. I know Hargeet's already got rid of his PlayStation, so he's like, I'm not even playing it. I don't care.
Yeah, unless they put it on PC.
Yeah, but I'm really excited because Wolverine's one of my favorite Marvel characters. For me, it's Spider-Man, number 1. Number 2 is Wolverine. So I can't wait for the game myself. I hope it's good, and I hope it's not made for a modern audience. Let's just say that.
It's supposed to be pretty violent, pretty gory.
Yeah, it does look pretty violent and gory. He's fighting a lot of cyborgs and stuff. So, like, if you notice in the trailers, like, he's cutting off the cybernetic limbs, not necessarily. We'll see what it does. But anyways, I think the gameplay looks pretty good from what we've seen. I want to see more of the gameplay, actually. So hopefully they show it off. Again, they said this spring. So in the next couple of weeks, I would expect to see it soon. So there's that. Now, Hargeet, was there anything else that you wanted to bring up today as far as a topic or anything?
I don't know. What haven't we talked about? Did we talk about the dynamic pricing fund?
No, what's that? What are we?
PlayStation is now doing dynamic pricing for their games.
Dynamic pricing.
You haven't heard about this? Oh, wow. So
No, I have not.
okay, so essentially, because they own the whole digital store, right? There's no competition for their store. Like, you can't go to Loaded or anybody. They don't have, like, they don't allow them to buy their codes, right? So they have now decided that they're going to use behavioral analytics to figure out if you are somebody who's going to pay extra and then charge you more for the same game. And then those who are unlikely to buy it, charge them less. So they're going to use behavioral analytics to have the game price for a specific individual be different than the next individual.
I don't like that at all.
It feels illegal somehow, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know that it is, but
I don't know what it is either. It just feels like it's a little
nefarious. Yes.
yes.
So what is like? So what do they consider somebody who gets a price reduction? Like what is the
Somebody who would not normally engage.
So okay. I only buy maybe 1-2 games a year on PlayStation, if that.
Yep.
So I rarely engage. Give me the discount. I'll gladly take it. But I think it's wrong. I think it's stupid.
Do you pre-order?
No.
Okay. Do you order within like a day or so?
The day it comes out, I'll buy
Yeah.
a game.
So you're likely to get hit. But we will see. We don't know. But here's the thing, Fonz. It's not going to happen in the US and Japan yet. So they haven't done it yet.
I don't understand that mindset, because part of me is thinking, well, we want them engaged, so we'll give them a decent price and lock them into our ecosystem somehow. But if they are rarely buying games anyway, like what? I don't get it.
I mean, I can even understand a targeted discount, but they're going to increase the price for those who do engage normally. So, like, okay, that's pretty crazy.
That's a way to increase the interest in moving to a different console.
Yeah, well, I mean,
dynamic
they must
pricing.
have some analytics where you're,
people just
so
pay
likely to buy it.
Is this real, Hargy? Because I have not heard this at all.
Really? I'm surprised you know the problem is like bigger news came out. I think this came out right around when Phil and
so
Sarah
I'm reading it right now. It says Sony is testing dynamic pricing, personalized pricing on PlayStation Store since November 2025. They've already been doing this, apparently.
Yeah, we just caught wind of it.
They have discounts up to 56% off for different users.
Yeah, and then increases.
190 games. I don't see anything about increases.
Yeah, oh no, they have increases as well.
It doesn't say that here. It just says decreases. Huh. Yeah, I'm not reading increases, but it's already across 70 regions, excluding US and Japan. So yeah,
yes,
it's just not for us. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't think that's, I think it's not fair. And pricing is something I don't think that you should change unless you're part of a discount club or something and you're paying into it. I get it. But this is just them determining, hey, you get 56% off because, well, you don't usually engage with this type of game. F you. Like, come on, that's ridiculous. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Ollie, what say you on that? Do you like that at all?
No, I think it's crappy because we're the ones that buy all the games. So, if anything, it should be the opposite way, where if you're an avid buyer, you should be on a rewards program where the more you buy, the more percentage you get off by the end of the year, and it resets at the beginning of the year, something like that. When your PlayStation membership reloads, so does your rewards reset. And then the people who don't buy very often should be the ones that have to pay more. Like, why do I have to pay more? I'm already paying you way more a year than, you know, like going to the movies or, you know.
Yeah, but even if you're at the $70 price point, but you find out that one of your friends got it for 56% off.
Oh, yeah, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, and Stay Frosty in the chat has it right. It sounds like price discrimination.
Yes.
It does. And that's probably why it isn't here in the U.S.
Because I think there are laws against that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think they said there's some regulatory issues where they can't do it in the U.S. and Japan.
Yeah, I have no idea about the price increasing. I will say that I am reading it, and I don't care if they well, I do care if they increased it, but I don't care if they kept it at 70 and somebody else got a 56% discount. I don't care if they got a 12% discount. I'd be pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Where's my discount? Where's my 5%?
Yep.
Hell no. Pitchforks.
I so rarely buy games on PlayStation as it is that, like, if this wound up coming here, then, like, you know, even though I don't want to, odds are I would probably wind up buying a PS6 just because I always have a PlayStation in the house, even though I just use it for their games when there's one that I want to play. But, like, even this would just even be more to drive me away from, like, I'm good. I don't know. I don't know. There's plenty of other things to play out there. It's like as we see the games industry feels like it's shrinking in the number of employees and, you know, all of these layoffs and stuff. I feel like I see more games now than ever that I actually want to play. Mm-hmm. And most of them are not on PlayStation. So the previous where it was like, okay, well, I've played these over here, but I really want to play Nathan Drake this year, and I really want to play this and that, right? That you used to have when you knew there wasn't anything else coming out for a while. There's not that problem anymore. Like, I'm gonna miss that game, and that sucks. But guess what? There were 3 others that month that came out that I was really excited to play.
Yeah, and you know. Den Solo Fly, he said, please don't buy a PS6. I'm buying a PS6. I'm going to have a PlayStation 6. And that's because they always have at least one game a year that I'm going to want to play. And so I'm going to have a console that plays that. Just the same as I would buy a Helix if there was an exclusive to that Helix that I wanted to play. I don't care what other people say. I'm going to buy whatever I want to play wherever I want. It's stupid to have that bias. Anyways, this is a pretty interesting one. BT Maverick 707 with the 5. Thanks a lot, BT. Says, did you guys see that PlayStation is shutting down another game studio, Dark Outlaw Games, 1 year after its formation?
Yeah, I just put the
can do no wrong.
Private chat.
It's a mobile company, right? A mobile developer outfit. I just heard about that right before the show.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, it's mobile. But why'd they buy him? Why'd you buy him, Sony?
It was an the guy who created it was from Call of Duty. He left Call of Duty to start this. And Blizzard is actually hiring across all disciplines and seniority levels in multiple locations around the world.
Yeah, something's going on with Xbox right now. They seem to be getting rid of some key people there at Xbox. And I know the one lady said on Twitter that they didn't get rid of her, that she just got another job. But they're getting rid of a lot of people recently around the same time.
But that's different because I feel like they're just replacing people.
But they are replacing people. Different. Exactly. Yeah. That's what they're doing. They're replacing. And they're also expanding at Blizzard. And so they're doing a lot of shuffling, a lot of, changing things, which I'll say for Xbox, I'm all for. I think that, with this new regime change, whatever you want to call it, I think you need to start seeing more changes there. I think they need to get more serious about their brand. Whereas I feel like they've been very lackadaisical. That's just me. That's how I feel.
Can I just tell you one thing really interesting? GameStop just put up a tweet. It says, bored of your PlayStation? Trade for an Xbox and leave with $69 more. They're paying people $69 to trade to an Xbox.
Xbox is paying.
GameStop.
To trade. Wow.
To trade in your PlayStation for an Xbox.
Yeah, because more people will buy the used PlayStation than the used Xbox. I think they're trying to get the Xbox.
Still is clever. It's clever.
Yeah.
Good for Xbox too.
If you've upgraded to a Pro and you don't have an Xbox and maybe you have a PlayStation 5 sitting there, you go trade it in, get $69.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. But as far as like the studio getting axed, that's just another one in the line of studios that have been axed.
8 and 6 years
Sony.
from Sony. Also, they closed Sony proper itself today. Also closed one of their visual effects, their CGI studios.
Really?
It was a big one too. It had worked on like really big movies that you would know, like
E.T.?
Jurassic Park,
No,
Jurassic
E.T.
Park, and like that kind of stuff.
Oh, did it work on Better Off Dead? No.
That game is pure magic. That movie's pure magic.
That movie's awesome. I just need my $2. I want my $2.
I want my $2.
Yeah, going down the ski slope. $2. People don't know what the hell we're talking about.
You gotta go watch that movie. It's the best movie like ever made.
John Cusack. Yeah, this is great.
Yep.
Great old. I love 80s flicks. So yeah, 1980s comedies. They're the best. Yep. Anyways, but yeah, I don't know, Hargeet, you got anything else to say about Sony? And I know you usually have a lot to say about Sony.
I mean, Holly covered it.
Let's kick him out again. Let's get rid of him. Come on, bring in D-backs.
Holly covered it. This is like what, the 7th, 8th, whatever. It just keeps going up and up and up. In this generation, how many studios they've bought and killed?
Yeah.
So it just keeps going.
I wonder what has going to happen. I wonder what we're going to say about Bungie a year from now.
Yeah. Or Haven or Team LFG or
because at that Fair Games game, whatever it is,
Haven.
It does not look good.
That one is definitely made for a modern audience.
Yes, that's true.
100%.
Made for somebody.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
Speaking of kicking out D-Batch, Web Dave, welcome. I see you. I see you in the chat. Shout out to D. D's a friend. Anyways.
Yeah, added more stuff to the private chat if you want to look for some other ones.
Private chat. Where's the okay, I see it. The private chats. New Xbox boss, Asha, has considered pricing revamp for Game Pass, claims report. Ooh, what's she talking about here? I don't want to have to sit here and read this. Is she talking about adjusting the price up or down, Hargeet?
Down. Adding other tiers, changing the price of the consoles. Lots of things are being discussed.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but
no,
there are discussions
it is true.
going on.
Tim has been sending me all kinds of stuff. Tim thinks that they're completely doing a 180. Like, I don't know. I don't personally believe that, but Tim does, and we talk, and I respect Tim. He respects my opinion too, and we just we talk about it. But again, like I said earlier, a lot of stuff is going on within that regime, and they're doing a lot of changes and stuff, and they are looking at everything. I know that, so we will see. what happens.
There's also some
with that.
talks about a potential partnership with Netflix. Game
I
Pass
heard
with
about
Netflix.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Netflix. Why partner with Netflix? What would be the benefit for Xbox there?
The reach of Netflix.
To have Netflix
So you're talking
in
about the
Game Pass?
cloud gaming, Game Pass?
No, I'm talking
Cloud?
about the partnership of just having, if let's say a tier of Netflix just included Game Pass, how much more?
Or
But it
vice
would
versa,
be cloud
right?
Game Pass. It would be cloud
Yeah,
Game
so-
Pass, though. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it would be whatever Game Pass Ultimate, right? Which would include cloud, right? And you're right. Maybe it doesn't include console access. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't include PC access. But what if you did get that though? That would increase the reach of Game Pass dramatically, wouldn't it? So
Yeah.
I mean, the last number I heard was 320 million or something like that subscribers to Netflix. So if you got some small fraction of that, that's pretty good. That's a lot.
Yeah. No, I see that, but for me, the whole cloud thing is just a miss. I'm not a big fan of
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, but what if
you
it
know,
gave
I-
you a Game Pass Ultimate?
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Like it had access to PC and all that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see the reach potential. You're right. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, Clean 50. Tim Dog is on the low right now on doing podcasts because I've invited him, but I don't know. He's like talking to certain people at Xbox, and like he's friends with Phil again apparently, and like he's just afraid to like say something that might get him the boot again. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking anyway. He didn't say that. That's what I think is why he's apprehensive about doing anything. So I don't know. Tim disrespected Sarah. No, Web Dave. I'm not even gonna get into that whole thing. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on from that. Let's talk about the big one. Crimson Desert. Okay, this game. First off, it sold over 3 million copies. Completely flies in the face of all the journalist reviewers that said this game sucks, I guess. Anyways, it seems that it has a crazy reaction on social media, though. People are very divided with this game. It's very, very polarizing. It's probably the most polarizing game ever, in my opinion, that I've personally witnessed. And I want to start by saying Pearl Abyss just recently put out a patch. It's a pretty big patch, too, that corrected some stuff based on player feedback. It also fixed a few bugs here and there, which, by the way, I have to say, I have only encountered one very small minor bug, and that's it. And I kept reading these reviews saying it's so buggy. I'm like, where? I don't see the bugs. I have a theory on that, though. I think that some of the reviewers, some of the journalist reviewers, were calling certain things bugs, but they were just UI systems that sometimes you can't see, but you have to hit a certain button to bring those prompts up. And because I've seen some say that they had a buggy UI and stuff like that. No, it had a clunky UI. It's still clunky to me, but it's not as bad as it was day one. They did make some changes there too. I've noticed that. Still pretty clunky. And they also improved the latency. When you hit a button, it actually reacts right away, whereas before I was fighting the first boss and it took me forever to beat that damn guy because my buttons just weren't registering on time.
The knight?
No. I'm talking about the boss that's in the field. You probably haven't gotten to it.
Okay.
It was my first big boss. The knight, I don't know if that's a boss. Is that a boss in
The
town?
end of chapter 1, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I that was fine. It was this other guy in this wheat field. Anyways, it was a nightmare because the guy's so fast and he's coming at you, and I'm trying to dodge, and I swear I'm hitting the button on time and it's not reacting on time. They address that. They address some of the key bindings on mouse and keyboard that people were complaining about because it didn't make sense. There was things like, in most games, when you're on mouse and keyboard, you hit I, it goes to your inventory. You hit M, it goes to your map, and so on. And they had all these other weird buttons that you'd push for everything like that. And people were like, what are you doing? Fix that. So they did that for PC gamers. And they said that they're also working on a remapping of buttons for console players. So hopefully you'll be able to remap some of these buttons. Now, before I get into everything I want to discuss here about Crimson Desert, I'm going to go to you first, Holly, because you have been playing.
Yes.
What do you say about this game?
I guess I was not sold on this game before it came out. You know, I thought some of it looked interesting before. Last summer, I saw QTEs in the gameplay, and I was like, I don't know, I might be out on this because I hate QTEs. So I just have been kind of like, well, it's a huge game. It's very popular this year. I'll probably get it just because, and it's, you know, not something totally out of my wheelhouse. So I was like, okay, I'll get it. Having no positive or negative expectations on what to expect. And I gotta say, I fell into it very easily and very quickly because I am a person who likes a very big game like Red Dead. Red Dead 2 was one of my favorite games of all time. And I heard some similarities were about that. And I heard a little bit of Zelda, and I like Zelda a lot too. So I was like, And as soon as you actually get into the open world, when you wake up in that field, you know, it was funny because I just saw these little question marks and it was like catch. And I'm like, oh, what's that? Right. So I grab it. And then I grabbed this and I ran around.
And it's a cockroach. You're like,
yes!
I got a cockroach.
Yes, I got a rhinoceros beetle. And I'm like, what the heck? You know, and you're like, okay.
Where'd you find that? I need one of those. For crafting.
Oh, it's at the starting point in the
I'm
field across the water. So, I started doing some of that stuff and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then when I opened it, it takes you to, I don't know what they call it in this game, a journal or something like that, but it's a compendium. In most games, they call it compendium, right? There are 2,958 things to discover, which is absolutely insane. I mean, that includes characters, bosses, locations,
or
but still
resources, all the resources you need. Yeah.
Like 12 different butterflies I've picked up so far, like all different kinds of stuff and recipes and things like that.
So you're over there just picking up bugs.
I was like, okay, I guess I gotta go do this.
Butterflies.
I was like hopping through the forest, and then I was like, inventory full, what? Right. And so then I went back and got the guy. Yes. And I'm just at a point in my life where I'm kind of really tired of inventory management. Like, it was cool before, but now I'm just kind of over it, you know? And so, then I went and started to do a little bit of the story, but I probably spent like the first 3 or 4 hours just goofing around, you know, not even like I did 1 or 2 pieces of the chapter. And then I watched a video on like what not to do or what to do in your first, initial part, right? Because there's so much. So
I'm trying to stay away
was
from the videos. I'm trying to stay away from
the only ones I'm watching are like in your first, these are the first 10 things you should try to do, right? Because they're usually not too spoilery, and they usually do just kind of help you get going without like feeling totally lost. Because in this game, they don't tell you how to do a lot of things. So like you'll pick there's one of the first things, the recipe lady, right? The cooking lady.
You don't even know the half. I'm going to get into that, but yeah, tell me what you said about the recipe.
Which I appreciate not hand holding, but I also kind of wish it would just be like, hey, idiot, open your inventory, examine the
Idiot.
recipe. And then, like, with that one, you didn't even, like, and I don't know if this was a patch thing, but, like, you had to read the recipe, come out of your menu, go over to the cooking pot, cook it for it then to be learned. It's not something that you read it and then it, like, is in your knowledge base. You have to go do it. So you have to memorize the number of each ingredient and then go do it. And then the recipe is still in your inventory. So then you have to go resell. So you have to sell the recipe to get your inventory slot back, right? So I'm like, well, I guess you get at least a little bit of money back from it. But like each one of those takes up a whole inventory slot and you don't have a lot. And like,
do you know why I think they do that? I think they do that because you have to look at it to remember the recipe before you learn it. But
you don't anymore though. Because yes, last night I was running around and on the map, on the little mini map, there'll be a little like icon. And if you run over, a lot of times there's a recipe laying there. So I would go over and I'd pick it up and it would do that shimmery blue thing, right? Yeah. So then you would like read it with the lantern and then I would go over to the cooking pot just to see, and that recipe was in there. Mm-hmm. So I think either they changed it with an update, or maybe it's only certain recipes that you have to do the remember, go cook, then you have it. I'm not sure. But
because if it does, just like honestly, they should make it to where you just read it once and then
it disappears.
The fucking thing goes away.
Yeah.
Because I hate it being in my inventory and it's only 1 copper. Like I don't care about that 1 copper. Okay.
Right. And then you got to find somebody to go sell it to too, which, they're not like
not everybody's going to buy it. Yeah, they're like, nope, I only buy swords here. I only buy meat here. And no.
Yep. So I love all of the intricate mechanics in this game because it's interesting. And I'm not like Red Wolf is like to the extreme where he's like, I want to feel every moment and every bit of pain. I want it to be hard for me to get from here to there and like stuff like that's not me, right? Like that's not
Red
my
Wolf.
He's gonna love this game.
Trust me.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes.
I felt that pain. You can't just go explore everywhere. You'll get your ass handed to you.
And I'm scared to go too far out of the original opening bubble. But I saw somebody who said, really, it was Wolfhard FPS. He said, just try to get, he's like, don't be one of those people who doesn't do any of the main story for too long. He said, just do at least the first 2 chapters or so. And then that will open up a lot more for you to be able to, go explore a little bit more and have a little more. And then you could, like he said, after the first 2 or 3 chapters, you can sort of, balance doing side stuff and the main story. But so for the most part, after I saw that, I was like, okay, let me just go back. And so I finished chapter 1. I'm almost at the end of chapter 2. I went the little boy with Wooly. When you go see him and he's like, oh my God, and he's throwing a tantrum on the ground and
the
kicking
kids are
and
picking
stuff
on him like he's never coming back. Oh my God.
It's so funny.
So terrible.
Yes. So I did Wooly and I've done a couple other things. And then, you just bump into side quests here and there. And I do those. I've done some bounties.
Do you pick up the kitty cats and pet them?
I do. I do. And I pet the dogs.
I pet the dogs.
Yes. I want to know when you get your how do you is it you just have to keep petting the same one repeatedly?
And here's how crazy it is. You have to gain their trust 100%, and it takes like 4 full game days to gain their trust.
Oh, okay.
So I kept going back to the same little white dog that was sitting there barking at me and kept petting it. And it'll give you more like loyalty points if you feed it.
Oh.
But here's the effed up part about this game. So I got meat for it and I set it down and it wouldn't even touch it. And then all of a sudden, another little dog out of nowhere comes up and eats it. I'm like, you little bastard. That was for the white dog. And then, so I tried again. I have a second piece of meat. Here you go, white dog, right in front of it. It just looks at me barking. And then all of a sudden, this guy walks up And he looks down and he picks it up and walks away. And he said, "You motherfucker." I was so pissed. I was like, "You just stole my dog's freaking meat." And they will do that in this game. The NPCs, if you discard anything, they'll run up and take it. They'll just pick it up off the street.
And if you knock them over with stuff in their hands, they'll say something snarky to you, and then they'll just turn around and start picking their stuff up to try to go along their way, which is super cool. But
Yeah,
so how do you feed the dog? There's no prompt
You're
to feed
supposed
the
to.
dog.
Okay, so when you go into your inventory, you go over to meat, whether it's cooked or raw. You hold A, and it'll come up and give you a menu. It'll say take out.
Okay.
And you take it out, and then you can put it down in front of any, on
And
the
so
ground.
there's no prompt on the actual dog, but you do that, and it's
No,
supposed to
that's
take it and
it's-
eat it.
Yeah. I've had other dogs eat just fine, but that dog just didn't want to eat. I don't know why. But
So do you get more points than just petting them if you feed them?
yes.
Okay.
You get more.
Because
So
I
you
was
can
looking
get
at
it
it's
in
like 5 points every
you could
time.
get it done in like 3 game days or something.
Okay.
But yeah, I kept like going back every day. I'm like, oh yeah, that dog. I'm gonna go try to get the dog. So I pet it every day for like 4 days straight in the game, and finally got a companion. And I'll touch up on this companion a little later because there's stuff about it I do not like at all.
Oh,
and I'll tell you
okay.
why. But yeah, Holly, what else have you been through in this game?
Yeah. So like you, I really haven't had very many bugs. Very rare. There's only been a couple things where like I went to do this bounty, and it's the woman in the church in the first town. You go in the basement of the church, and it shows her there. The X is there. It says you're like standing 1 meter from this person. They're not there at all. And it's like, okay, maybe I'll go upstairs. But then it's like pointing the arrow down, like, no, idiot, it was downstairs where you were. And you go down, and she's just not there. So I asked somebody else who's playing the game, I was like, did you do this bounty? And like, oh yeah, she was right there. She was just sitting there waiting for me. And I'm like, they're not there. It's marked that she's there. She's not there. So like, there's been a couple things like that, or also like the Visione head gear.
Yeah, you put it on and it's got the.
When I went up the tower, it wasn't there, and it kept saying like, inspect the mysterious helmet. And I'm like, there was nothing for me to inspect. I had to walk out and then walk back in and like hit things, and then it was finally there.
Mine was on the floor. Yeah, it was just sitting there on the floor.
Yeah, so a couple weird things like that, but the combat
I would call that a bug. Yeah, that's a bug.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a freezing bug. And you do have to be careful because like I don't know, also, this isn't a big secret. It's not anything fantastic, so don't get mad at me. I'm just going to say, right where you spawn, there's that waterfall behind you. There's a fast travel point right next to it. But if you just crawl up the cliff a little bit, there's a little like there's a statue sitting with a tiny temple behind it, and it's holding 2 candles. And all you have to do is go up and light each candle, and it opens the little building behind it, and there's a legendary sword in there.
I have not done that.
And it's not a fantastic sword. It's not like it's like an end game kind of sword. It's just a little bit better than the one you start with, like 1 or 2 levels. But like when you open the lid, it like sparkles or something, and there's nothing for you to pick up, but it's just dumped it into your inventory. And so somebody else was trying to do it, and they were like, this thing isn't in here, I can't find it. And like they're like, it's like they thought they could see a prompt, but they couldn't do anything with it. And then they checked their inventory, and it's in their inventory, but it also kind of looks like it's still in there. So like you just have to kind of check, there's a little like minor goofy things like that, but I don't really feel like those things are a huge deal.
They can become a huge deal, and I'll tell you why. So getting back to the companion. Okay, so one of the issues I have with the companion with the dogs, and I don't know that it tells you that they do this when you get a companion, because usually when you play a game and your companion does something, usually you'll get a prompt and it'll show like, hey, this companion will do this, this, and this. Nothing, I don't think anything like that happened with mine. Anyway, so I'm on this quest, And I got my little dog with me, and he's just chilling. And I'm talking to a guy, and then I have to inspect his little station, and I have to pick up his ledgers and read them. Mm-hmm. So I go to pick up one of his ledgers. I read it. Cool. I go to get the ledger where I saw it earlier, and it was gone. And I was like, the fuck happened to the ledger? Like, and I sat there, and it was the only time. There was 2 times I went to YouTube to look at what the hell am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Because I kept running around, and I said, I know it's there. Has anybody else had this bug? So I'm looking it up, and a YouTube video pops up. Because I said, is this, ledger bug, whatever? Turns out that my dog took it. So
the dog ate your homework?
No, your companions pick up loot for you. And I didn't know they did that. So me just saying, okay, I didn't think that this was loot because it's something that I have to pick up and read for the quest.
Sure,
my fucking dog took it. And I'm sitting there going, what? So yeah, somebody was like, yeah, your dogs pick stuff up. That's what happens. And I'm like, oh, no wonder my pack is getting so freaking full. The dog's just picking up every little thing off these fucking people I kill.
So the dog's looting
like
impacts your storage?
Inventory. So I don't like that. So I stopped using the dog because I did not want my dog to pick up any more crap because I'm very selective because of the inventory space. Now they did patch it and give you more space, and they gave you a storage thing at your camp, which is great. You can throw stuff in there, but you have to keep going to your freaking camp to use this stuff. And I don't like that aspect. I wish that it would count.
And it has limited space too. The storage has limited space.
Yes. And so this was a big point of contention with even the early, the early access players, gamers were saying the same thing. The testers and everything were saying, hey, there's not enough space. This is crazy. And
for a game this size, for the storage.
Yes, for the amount of stuff that you find, even good stuff that you find, even the resources you need to upgrade your gear, because this game, it's all about upgrading through gear. You sure there's abilities that you pick up along the way and stuff, but really your gear matters so much. So your sword, everything. So I've been upgrading my stuff a lot. I've been resource hunting. I've been doing all this stuff just to upgrade my stuff. And so my packs get full. My packs get full fast. And so I didn't need a dog with me to do all that, pick up more stuff I don't want. So my dog, I'll take him out at camp and I'll check him out there, because I even got a little armor suit on him and stuff.
Oh,
cool. He's
so
just chilling.
Cute.
Yeah, he's just chilling. I did not get a kitty cat yet. I want to get a cat.
Can you have more than one?
Cat. Yes, you can have a lot of pets. There's like a whole row of pets that you can have. Anyways, so there's that about that dog. But yeah, some of the things that I want to get into though is my start was rough. I started on PC and I was getting crashes like every 40 minutes. My stuff would just crash. And even though it's, 40 minutes, I saw some people having crashes every 10 minutes.
Wow.
And I was like, that's crazy. And then I had friends that weren't getting crashes at all. And I'm like, what's going on? So I kept looking around and saying, why am I having these crashes? I'm looking on Google and stuff. And I found out that ray reconstruction, I had that on. Other people were having crashes with the same specs of my computer with ray reconstruction on. They turned it off and they had no crashes anymore. I turned it off, gone. No crashes now.
Interesting.
And I'm like, that's weird. So I don't use the ray reconstruction because of that. What the hell? Marco in the chat says, Fonz strikes me as a dude who strictly owns iguanas.
That's a very, what's my guy's name? Doesn't that remind you of the Nissan Altima guy?
Peter something.
Whatever that guy's name is. James Avery.
James Avery.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, that's hilarious, man. No, I never, I don't own lizards, never have, never will. Anyways, but, so anyways, another thing I don't really like about the game or that I had a problem with at the beginning was the control scheme. We all did. That's something that you kind of get used to. You get used to it after a while. However, even I'm 50 hours in. I've got like 52, 53 hours in. That's a lot in 5 days, especially when I didn't play all day Friday because it was my wife's birthday. So just imagine how many hours I put into this game daily.
Yeah.
I don't like the controls when they have you use the triggers with the bumpers at the same time.
Yes.
To activate.
Who decided that was a good thing?
Awful.
It's
And
so
then
stupid.
when you have to use the triggers and hit both analog buttons and then hit an A or a B, and I'm like, how? With my freaking tongue? Like, this is insane.
I saw a meme of somebody today was like, do you play like this? And their nose was pushing a button with.
Yeah, it's insane. And there was this time I was in the abyss. I was up in the air in the Nexus abyss doing puzzles, because that is something that I have to say too. I hate puzzles in action games like this, but for some reason, I like these. I actually am enjoying these puzzles. They are puzzles that aren't just like, they make you think. They frustrate the hell out of me at times. But if you read what it says and you think about your abilities and how you can manipulate certain objects, because you get to kind of know, oh, I've used this object before with my Axiom, hand thing, and that
The force
thing that
palm.
comes out and grabs things and manipulates things.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you start to recognize certain cues. There's visual cues there, and then you'll go to like a wall, and it'll show you like the puzzle, like how it's supposed to be solved. And so you can go back and start doing things and look at the walls and stuff. There's only been a couple of times where I didn't have many visual cues at all, and I was stumped for a good half hour before I figured it out. And those frustrated me, but there was one that made me stop doing the puzzles last night. Not forever. I'm going to go back to them. And it wasn't because it was challenging, or not challenging in the way that you think. It wasn't hard. It was easy to figure out. It was the freaking control scheme that made it difficult as hell. So
Great.
there's this puzzle where you walk in and you see these glowing things in the air. And it's called something precision. So I knew it had something to do with archery. So I'm like, okay, I shoot those things that are glowing. So I start shooting them. Good, knocking them out. And you have to do it fast. Each one, you have to get them all done like a millisecond within each other. So you'll open up this ability to kind of pause time and shoot each one really fast, right? So it's like a focused fire thing. So I was able to do those. I walk around, shoot some more, do those. Walk around, shoot some more, and do those. And then it has you jump in the middle of this thing and float with your gliding crow
The wing
suit
things.
thingy.
Yeah.
So you're floating and it's pushing you way up into the sky, and you go past these rings, and there's 2 rings. And on these rings, or beside these rings, are 3 little things to shoot. Mind you, they want you to go way up in the air, and you're floating there, and you have to get out of your wing thing to start then falling down. And you could
And
focus
pause
to
time.
fire, and you got to try to, target each one and shoot them before you fall all the way through. And it's so fast. You have to do it so fast. You barely have any time to get it done. It took me so long to do that one. Not because I didn't know what to do, but because it was just a challenge for those damn controls. The way they have you hold that and mark and everything. Because you're doing the triggers the analogs at the same time, and then you're hitting A to mark.
Really
as
looking
you're
forward to
falling
that.
down.
Really looking
And I'm
forward
like,
to that.
Who designed this shit? Like, why? Why did you do that?
In all honesty, like, if I just keep thinking about, imagine being that dude at Pearl Abyss who was the guy that designed the controls for this game, and the absolute hell you must be taking because this game is being refunded and tanked through the roof, like, or tanked through the basement, mostly because of the controls. And even then, mouse and key people aren't really happy with it either. They
No,
say
because
it's
you got to
really
push a lot of
bad,
buttons too. Yeah,
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I couldn't beat it with a controller. I went
Did
to
you have
mouse
to go
and
to mouse
keyboard
and
for
key?
that one thing, and it was still tough.
So that you have
but I
the
got it
mouse
done.
to
because the mouse was easier to
to move.
click on, but it was still. It took me a few
I was gonna
tries.
ask because I was like, oh, then maybe that's
But-
the cheat.
The games, okay, so I use a GameSir controller, and it's got the little buttons on the back. I recommend if you play this game, map those two buttons in the back for both triggers, left and right. Because it's easier to push them at the same time with the bumper than it is to push the freaking triggers and the bumper for me.
I've got the Elite, and I have ABXY mapped to the 4 back buttons.
Okay. But that trigger's going to get you when you're having to do the bumpers and the triggers and the analogs. You're going to be like, what?
Well, that's
It's awful.
that's probably the trick. Is you probably actually need to design. And I did think about that. Design a second profile on the Elite, just for.
But you're right
Crimson
though. With the
Desert.
Elite, you have the buttons that you can hit the buttons when you're doing all that
Yeah.
crap. Yeah, that'll work too. That's pretty interesting. So it's the controls. I agree with everybody under the sun. They're ass. They're ass. They're just not
wasn't
designed
enough.
well.
It's not bad enough for me to not play it though.
No,
At least not
again,
yet.
you get used
but
to
you're
them,
further than me.
But it's when you have to pull the triggers at the same time as the analogs, as the bumpers. That's when it gets weird, and then you got to hit another button.
The first 5 minutes of the game, they're like, press right trigger and right bumper at the same time. You're like, are you kidding me? Like, your whole hand has to come off to do that. And I'm like, I understand a left bumper, right trigger, but why would you ever just voluntarily put something that's an attack during a fight, which you have to be agile with? Why would you ever make that a bumper trigger combo on the same side? Makes no sense.
And that first like 5-6 hours that I was playing the game, I honestly, besides the crashes, that was frustrating. But also, I was honestly thinking, maybe this game wasn't what I thought it was, and maybe I'm not going to get into it like that. And don't get me wrong, I was having fun with it, but I was like, man, it's not that great to me so far. And then what I thought about too is like that first 5-6 hours was my chapter 1. And what I noticed in the chapter 1 is that they don't throw a lot in terms of enemies and stuff at you. After you get out of chapter 1, I consider that first chapter to be more like part of the tutorial, honestly.
Yeah.
Because once you get out of it, you start encountering more enemies. You get to do more things. It's almost like you're freer after that. And after that point, it just clicked. I was like, man, I was getting used to the controls. I loved the open world. I was like, okay, what am I going to do first? Oh yeah, I got to get this camp going over here. I reunite with all my comrades and stuff. And I'm like, no, we need to build this camp up. So I started working on that stuff and having a great time with it. And one of the things that I see with a lot of the journalist reviews was that the story was horrible. And it's not. Let me just say this. I've played worse stories in games. Worse stories that people have praised in games. I'm not saying it's mind-blowing or anything, because it's not. But the story's not bad. It's actually well written. It's actually well voiced. I don't have a problem. It gets me along going just fine. When I was hearing like oh, your companions and everything are soulless. I'm like, no, they're not. I don't know what they see in this game, but I'm reuniting with the comrades that that get attacked at the beginning and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got some cool freaking, stuff going on, dialogue and stuff. It's not like it's badly written. So I just think it's weird that is a big thing for this game, that like a big stigma about the narrative. I don't have a problem with the narrative at all. Yeah.
Just in the story, I just feel like maybe Pearl Abyss wasn't clear enough before launch. They tried to start to change the narrative before, but I think it was way too close to launch. That like people were thinking it was. I think people were thinking it was going to be much more like Red Dead 2, where there's this very significant, heavy story, very RPG, where you're really invested in this story and you have it drives you to keep going through the main story because you just can't wait to see what happens to Arthur, right, on the next thing. And like, that's not really what this game is. Don't get me wrong, I really like this game. It's not about that, right? But the expectation, I think, probably wasn't set properly by them to begin with.
Yeah. And that's what I heard. It's not about the story, and I was fine with that. But I was actually pleasantly surprised with the story and the voice acting. I don't have a problem with it. Colt Classic Cage said Greg Miller actually literally lied about the voice acting. It's pretty solid. If he said it was bad, then I don't know how else to put it.
It's good. That little boy screaming and kicking on the ground was hilarious. And
even the side stuff that I've done, the side questing, I haven't come across any really bad voice acting or anything. It's good, and I like the Greymane's story and trying to, build a camp and get back together, getting the band back together. Like, I like this. I don't have a problem with it. That part is fine for me, but it's about the open world and all the stuff you can do in it. The puzzles, like I said earlier, they can get challenging, but stick with them. Like, sometimes they're not challenging, but they just appear to be, but then you'll have that duh moment, like, oh, I'm so stupid. This is what I was supposed to do. That happened to me a couple of times, actually. But yesterday, I found myself playing for hours in the Abyss Nexus on puzzles alone. And I don't do that in games like this. So, and the cool part is, too, you get to unlock teleport points up there. So you can always go back up there and then
just jump off the side.
And what's cool is you can actually glide to several different parts of the continent faster that way because you're so high up. That's the one thing I wanted to bring up, too, about the gliding or the flight or whatever you want to call it. The stamina for it is not enough. I've upgraded my stamina quite a bit, and it's not enough. I think that part needs the tweaking. The stamina for climbing is fine, but it's when you're gliding. It's just, you always have to, like, take it off, free fall for a while, put it back on, and it gets kind of dumb. Like, I wish the stamina was a bit better when you're gliding. That you were talking about earlier about the hand holding. Oh my God. So they don't tell you a lot in this game.
Nope.
For one thing, I just found out the other day that, and this is just by happenstance, I was in the camp with the one companion that you meet that you can actually play as. And I don't play as her because, to be honest, I've invested so much into Cliff already. I have to share Abyss, points and stuff.
Oh, you don't get the same amount of points?
No, you have to share everything. And there's only 144. So I'm like, I want all of them on Cliff. But here's the part that I found out while I was at camp. There was a little button that said I could summon her. And I was like, what? So I summoned her and she followed me and we went around kicking ass together.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't know that. It's a lot like Dragon's Dogma in that way. Yeah. So if you don't know that, people, you can actually do that. And then today I found out on Twitter, somebody had brought it up in a post, and people were like, really? You can do that? Like, people don't know that. And it's like, of course they don't, because Pearl Abyss doesn't freaking tell you. It's just, you'll happen to come across it. And the other thing they didn't tell you is when you're upgrading your camp, okay, it'll tell you you need all these missions done, and you're looking at it and it looks so overwhelming. And you're like, this is way too much to do. But when you reunite with your Greymanes, you can send them out. And we've seen them say that you can do this stuff, right? But they don't tell you how to do it at all. And it's so freaking confusing. You have to go into your camp. You have to talk to this guy and go into your quest factions menu. And then you have to go into that menu, and then it'll say on the bottom, you have to read the tooltips on the bottom, and it'll say inspect. So you hit inspect, and then it'll say, okay, this is what you have to do, and you can send people out at that point. It's like, you shouldn't have to jump through hoops like that. Like, there's so much menus to go through, inspect, because if you just go to your map, it should be there too. If you just hit map, it should show you where this job is, what needs to be done, and then send people.
When you open the map, it's always... Yes. You open the map and it's on quest. And I'm like, why isn't it on all? It should always be on all. If I wanted it to be on quest, like, I would tab over to quest. But it should, like, because you're like looking for a fast travel point. You're like, well, where the heck is it? I know it's over. And you're like, shit, I'm on the wrong tab. Like,
yeah, it is so clunky that you have to go through those menus.
Yes.
But again, it doesn't stop me from playing. Again, I'm 53 hours in. Like, this game has grabbed me so much because these are the type of things I love. And you're probably asking yourself, you've complained about a lot of stuff. What do you love about it? I'll tell you. It's the dopamine hit I get when I get rewarded for exploring. And this game rewards you so freaking much for exploration. I've gotten so much cool shit, whether it be armor or weapons. I got this badass katana that I freaking love to use. I've got 2 swords that I dual sword now. I dual wield instead of using a shield. I freaking, it's that reward. It's the reward you get for exploring. This world, honestly, I'll say this. The NPCs, the random NPCs in the villages and stuff, they're just kind of window dressing. They're not like a Red Dead where they're actually going to jobs, going to their homes. Like, they're just basically there just to, fill the scene. And that's fine, because most games are like that. Most open world games, that's what they are, just window dressing. But the world itself is so freaking good.
It is.
So beautiful. And it's finally, I will say this, I am the biggest fan of Red Dead 2. And its visuals, but finally we have a game that has upstaged Red Dead 2's visuals in an open world game like this. It's freaking amazing. And here's what I did though, because some people most people are just playing the game. Oh, see, that's not for me.
I feel like it's oversaturated. And I don't even have HDR on.
No. I put a reshade on it. Made it look more realistic, and let me tell you, it is freaking gorgeous. I don't know why they oversaturated it like that. So, do you know how when you're like in the sun, it looks overexposed?
I was gonna say that's the other problem. Is that the whites are too white. Yeah,
you need to mod it and reshade it. I'm telling you, I got this. I took the overexposure out, and I got this reshade on it that looks like it looks real. And it just destroys freaking Red Dead 2's open world now. And the draw distance and everything are just so incredible in this game. And I don't say that lightly, because Red Dead 2 is still an amazing open world game. And it still goes head to head with this in certain aspects. Yeah. Like, I will say, like, the waterfalls themselves, I give to Red Dead. But, like, just the water on lakes and stuff, this game is stunning. The rocks and everything, like just the terrain, stunning, so good. But I'm telling you, everybody, if you're on PC, you have to get a reshade on this game to make it look more realistic and take the overexposure out. So much better. I don't know why they overexpose it like that. It's too bright.
Yeah, it's too bright.
It looks awful. But the game is stunning. But yeah, as far as the game though, I think the combat is a lot of fun too. Like I'm, doing the WWE moves as well as freaking using my swords. I know it looks kind of funny to some people, but it's just fun to do. Like I love using my sword and then just uppercutting a guy, knocking him out, and just stuff like that, or doing a freaking flying
I like doing the
kick.
shield bash where he just
Shield bash is cool. Yeah. It's just fun. I don't know. It's just got everything that I like about open world games in it. It just works. And again, the controls, that's my big pet peeve. It sucks. And I don't like the fact that they don't tell you how to do certain things and you just have to find out. And I read what you said earlier, Boba. And I'm at the same point in my camp. I don't know how to fix that wagon yet. But I assume, this is what I assume, just keep going down the list and sending your people out to finish all the tasks. I think eventually you'll just get there. That's what I think, because that's what I'm doing right now. But yeah, ray reconstruction, I can't use it. For some reason, it crashes my PC. I don't know why. It's so weird because my temps aren't high, nothing, like everything is running good. And my frame rates are good, and it just crashes.
Has Hargeet messaged you at all?
No.
Just make sure he's okay.
Hargeet, you there? He's probably eating dinner because he's not playing the game.
Yeah,
I'm here.
Probably why.
Okay.
I just
Just
figured
making
I'd
sure.
just chat about the game.
Yeah,
You're
Hargeet,
good. You're good.
So
making
everything you've heard about this game, like I assume that it makes you say, it's not for me.
I mean, it might be. I don't know. We'll see. If they do some patching, I think I heard they already have a major update already. They'll probably have a few more. So when it gets somewhere, I'll think about it.
Yeah, Soil Tech, I've updated everything, and there's other people with my PC spec who have the same issue with ray reconstruction. I don't know why. It's just doesn't work.
It's a huge game too. So like
ray reconstruction.
Sorry.
Yeah. Also, ray reconstruction really tanks the frame rate too. Anyway, so I just rather not have it on so I can get 120 frames. That's just me. Yeah, no, that's good. It's working for you, but it's weird. It would just, I don't know, randomly just crash. And like I said, some people had it worse than me. It was crashing every 10 minutes for one guy. And I was like, wow, that's freaking nuts. I would have quit playing if that happened to me. But I pushed through, and like I said, I'm not having any crashes now. And man, 53 hours in, and I can't wait for more. After this podcast, I'm jumping right back on. I was up till 3 a.m. last night playing this game. I am tired.
I think it's a lot of it is just like, you don't really know what's going to happen. And that's part of it is it's the unknown, right? Like something as silly as catching those stupid bugs. Oh, what's this? Right? Or, oh, what's that? Or you talk to somebody. One of the things that I was like, come on, really? I've talked to a lot of strangers in the first town. And like I said, I'm only like 10 hours in. You talk to a lot of strangers in the first town. And I can't tell you how many of them had the repeat dialogue of, my boy called me Pa the first time. Yes.
Yeah, he said,
and I was just
me
like,
baby's gone and called me Pa. I've heard that 100 times, and I'm like, Jesus. And I put that on Twitter. I put that quote, my baby's gone and called me Pa. And I know some people who don't get it are probably like, what the hell is baby finally called him? Why does he have a baby at 50? But yeah,
it's so annoying. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hear that again.
Like, why did they let you have a prompt to talk to everybody if everybody's going to say the same shit?
And why did they only repeat that? It seems like I don't really hear many of the other things, but the baby and the paw thing is the one that just, it's like, well, we ran out of new dialogue, so we'll just put that one in every repeat ever.
If only they could use Gen AI and it would create new dialogue for you. Oh, wait.
Oh, that's for shame. For shame. No, it's true, though. That was the one line I kept hearing. I'm like, wait, is that the same guy? And I was like, no, that guy had a beard. This guy doesn't. Yeah, because it makes you think, like, am I running into the same guy?
I know. No. I know. It did that too.
But you need to listen to it. It's the same voice actor too.
It is. It's the exact same thing.
It's the same guy.
It's this Scottish accent dude, the exact same time.
It's the same guy. Yeah, and it's hilarious. But I do enjoy just running around this world and seeing like crazy. Look, I'm not trying to sell anybody on this game because again, it's very divisive. But I have run into so many different enemy types and so many different weird things that it blew me away. Like there was something that happened to me. I went to this one village and the type of people that were there, I was not expecting. I was freaking like, what? Okay, that's weird, but also so freaking cool. And those are the moments, dare I say, are kind of Elden Ring-esque, because that's a lot of what Elden Ring did, is like when you're just exploring, you find just random weird shit. And this game has a ton of it. Ton of it. And I haven't even scratched the surface. I have probably, in this entire map, because it's massive, I have probably gone to maybe a third of it. Maybe. I'm still questing out of the first castle area. That's where I'm still questing. Like, yeah, sure, it's taking me further out, but I haven't even started with other factions. And I know you can join other factions because I have. There's a particular faction I joined that I don't want to spoil it for people because I thought it was weird but cool, and I'm doing stuff for them as well. But yeah, this game is just it's sucked me in, and it's just constantly got me just going, wow, like every hour I'm getting into something new, and I'm just blown away. When you do the Nexus stuff, the puzzles up there, that's probably more Hargeet's speed is the puzzles. Honestly, I think Hargeet would love the puzzles because they make you think, and they're a lot like the Tears of the Kingdom style puzzles, a lot like Zelda, but they're like fun. They're enjoyable.
Is that kind of like
kind of like that? Kind of like that. Okay. Yeah. And you know how you can manipulate things with that? I don't know what it is in Zelda, but here it's like a little. It's like almost like this guiding rope.
It's like a Gumby arm.
A hand claw, and it picks up things and manipulates them, moves them around, sticks them into places. Yeah. Anyways, there's a lot of stuff to do. But the open world is freaking incredible. And I can't say enough. People, if you're playing this on PC, reshade that shit. Make it look more real. It's so beautiful. I'll send you screenshots of what mine looks like in bright daylight and stuff. It's so much better than what theirs looks like.
Yeah. Okay.
Without a reshade. But I love the game. Absolutely love it. It's right now 50 hours in. By the end of this week, I'll be at over 100 for sure.
And not done either because it's so big.
Not done. No.
Yeah.
And I'll probably get to maybe half the map. Maybe not. I don't know. But that's because my wife's out of town for the week. So I have nothing but game time. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there's that. But anyway, that's how I feel about it right now. I think it's a really good game. It could change later, something may happen, but I don't think so. I think I'm going to play through this game like I did Elden Ring and enjoyed the hell out of that. Elden Ring, again, is my game of the generation. So I don't think it's an Elden Ring because of the control scheme and stuff, but I think it's a lot of fun, and the exploration is really solid, and that's where it shines. So, yeah, Soil Tech said there's a lucky dude who's on vacation right now. I hear you, Fonz. Yeah. Yep. It is kind of like a vacation. It's nice. It's nice and quiet. So, anyways, I don't know, Holly, as you get further into the game, if you have any questions or anything, don't feel, reach out and ask, hey, have you done this? Do you know what the hell to do?
Yeah, there is just a lot where you're just like, I have no idea what this does. I have no idea what that does. I don't know how to do this, or I don't know when I'll ever see, like, I'm like still in the first camp and I'm like, well, I guess there's like a real camp at some point in time, but I don't really know. You kind of see hints of it and you're just like, I don't know. I guess I'll get there eventually. It's kind of the way it feels, which is fine, right? Like that's kind of the point of a game like this is just, well, let's just move on and see what happens.
It's a slow burn for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I, it's funny. I see a lot of people on social media, like Paul Tassi, Gene Park. They're like, oh, you guys are right. After 8 hours, it's amazing. I'm like, it's weird. Like it didn't.
I enjoyed
take that
it
long,
after an hour. Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. I was enjoying it regardless. But I'm saying it all started to click after 6 for me. Once I beat chapter 1, I was like, okay, this game is my game. 100%. And a lot of people take that kind of feedback and think, oh, so I have to play it for 6 hours to like it. No, I liked it before that, but now I love it. There's a difference. Yeah.
It's not for everybody either, right? Like there are people who need fast-paced action the whole time or something crazy happening, just to drive the story, and this is not that at all.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely is not. And there's going to be people that are going to be turned off by the puzzles alone. They're just going to say, nope, I don't want to think. Because in an action game, that's what I said all the time. I don't want to think. I don't want to do a puzzle. I just want to fight. But now I catch myself going to the puzzles. Like, weird. Somebody took my freaking body. I don't know. That's not me. It's crazy, but this is the first action game I've liked the puzzles in. It's weird, but because they're unique to me. I didn't play Tears of the Kingdom and stuff. I just see people say it's a lot like that. So
it is, and the food is ugly. When you cook the food, just like you do in Tears of the Kingdom, right? Where you're over the there's no cool music like in Tears of the Kingdom, but you're cooking, and then the food at the end they show it cooked, and you're like, that looks disgusting. Why would anybody eat that?
Yeah, even the meat and everything, it's like way overcooked.
It looks like a wax garbage, whatever.
Yeah,
it's gross. Yeah.
But man, gosh, this game is just gorgeous and so fun to play. Especially after the patch. Did you play it after the big patch? Did you jump in? Okay. Because the feel of the movement and like I said, the latency is so much better now. You can feel it. So they did. They at least did a good job there fixing this stuff. However, I will say this as a consumer, they should have had this stuff nailed down before it came out. That sort of stuff and the bugs. All the player feedback, I do respect them for listening to player feedback now though, and changing stuff because of it. And this is where I go back to early access. I think this game would have been perfect for early access. They could have nailed all this shit and then came out with a 90 meta. Because I think it could have been. I think it could have been. If the controls weren't so wonky, I think it could have been. And there was no bugs and stuff. It's a massive game though, so.
The only other annoying thing I find is like when you want to go talk to somebody or you have to hold the left bumper to interact with something or someone. Yeah. You have to have just the right angle. And which is frustrating enough because you have to hold the stupid bumper as it is, which is annoying. And then you have to have just the right angle. I really wish they would just take the bumper thing away from anybody who's interactable beyond greet,
Yeah, because it's like hold LB and then press X to talk. Yeah, it's like why can't you just why you can't just hit X? Because X, well, that's another thing. When you're
And
trying
I'm
to pick
jumping
something up,
all the
sometimes you
time.
jump,
I'm
and you're just jumping. Yeah. I'm
Yes.
like, what are we
when
doing?
you want to climb something and you're like, grab it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens all the time because
Yeah.
they constantly use, because I think this game, even though the controls on PC, they complain about them there too. It's not, this game is not very good for a controller with
No.
such limited buttons. You got so much to press and hold. Like the button will do one thing if you press it, but do another if you hold it. Like tapping A to run.
It drives
I
me
hate
nuts.
that so much.
It drives me
I
nuts.
hate that so much.
Yes.
And people are like,
Yes.
no, you just tap it once to jog and tap it twice to run.
No,
Yes.
it doesn't work
but
like that. You have to like
but the
tap
sprint-
it a lot to get it to A
But the
to run.
sprint is you have to tap.
A lot.
That's the sprint.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
hate
just
that.
And
you run
it
a
reminds
lot in
me of
this
playing-
game because it's so big.
It reminds me of playing Grand Theft Auto 3. That's what it reminds me of. You know, that's how you ran. And I don't care for that. But the taming horses, that's cool that you can go out in the world and find a horse that you like and tame it and put it in your stable. I heard there's legendary horses out there, so that would be cool to come up.
Oh, that's cool.
Upon one of those. So now I just got this big bulky horse I found and tamed. Just cooler looking horse than the little scrawny one they give you.
Then the herpes.
Yeah, and its name is Herpes. Like, how do they give you a horse and name it Herpes? Like, that's so weird.
Yep.
No, Bubba. You tap twice, it runs, but it doesn't sprint. Look at the animation. When you tap it, his arms do more sprinting animation.
Yes. Yeah,
He
sprint
runs
is
a
when your
little bit
stamina bar
faster.
goes. Yeah.
It's just a little bit faster. So that's why most of the time I don't even sprint anymore. I just do the double tap and let him run. I'm like, it's marginally faster with the sprint, but whatever. The tapping is just stupid.
Yep.
Steel Effects said, I love that aspect of the game. I just got the black and white legendary horses. Oh, did you? That's cool because that's what I want. I want the black and the white horse. I found a cool armor set that I'm using currently. What do you call it? I freaking let me see if I can pull it up here. I'm gonna see my Twitter because I posted it today. All right, yeah, I could do it. Wait a minute, where am I at? Oh, there I am. Share the screen. Share. Okay, add to stage. There it is. There's my cool armor set. That's what I'm rocking right now.
It looks like a Nazgul.
Kind of looks like Sauron-ish. Yeah.
It looks like one of the ring wraiths, the Nazgul, right? The
Kind of.
guys
Yeah,
on the
kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. That's really cool.
It's cool. Yeah.
That's super
and
cool.
yeah, and the thing is, I'll tell you guys how you get that set. Explore waterfalls. I'll just tell you that. Because if you can explore the water, there's things in the waterfalls. So I'm having a lot of fun.
Oh,
Thank you, Neil
cool.
B, for joining the channel, becoming a member again. Appreciate you, man. But yeah, so I freaking I love playing dress up in games. I've said it here before. I don't mind playing Barbie doll dress up in my big RPG fantasy worlds, even in GTA and stuff. You like to freaking dress nice, put on a nice freaking outfit while you go out there and slay people. The dyes in this game are kind of eluding me because I've only found two. I found a dark red and a yellow.
I don't know how to do that yet. I thought you could craft
you can
them
buy
from
vendors,
stuff.
but
I thought you could
you
craft
can also
them.
buy them. Yeah, you can, and you use
Okay.
some of the bugs. You use like
Yeah.
different things. And I found out that you can only get the black dye by crafting. So that, unfortunately, is not something you can just buy or find. You have to craft it. So I only got the dark red and the yellow dye that I bought from vendors, 2 different vendors, because they only sell one for some reason. It's like, yeah, I'm a dye shop. I sell one color. It's like, what? Okay.
But do you always have the color once you buy it?
Yes. Once you unlock it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
You always have it there. I don't know how to use the dye that I've purchased though. Like, you can buy the bottles, but I don't know how to use them. I think I have to unlock it at my camp at some point. That's what I think. It's just a
interesting.
guess.
I just found the dye craftsman or vendor or whatever his name is. He's on my map, and I'm just like, I don't know. The stuff I have is whatever anyway, right? I'm like, this is basic beginner stuff.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Because I really like to dye stuff. I like to make my,
Yeah, I would too, but
cool.
I want it to be stuff that, you know what I mean? I'm going to wear for a while.
That's why I like the armor that I got there, because it's mostly all
really
black.
Cool. Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, it comes in black. But there's like a really dark black that you can craft. And it's like the crow black or something.
Oh, that's
it's
cool.
Really cool. Yeah. But yeah, I'm having a blast with the game. If you guys are on the fence about it, I would say this. Wait.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if you really have to have it, yes, and you like, it's really a single player MMO is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this game is.
If you don't have FOMO, this is a good game, but you could wait 3 months, get a sale, and they will have patched a lot of these things.
That's why. That's why I would say wait. Not really a sale for a sale, but wait for more patches.
Yeah.
And Pearl Abyss works fast on these patches. Like, they had that one out in a couple of days. And they had a couple of them before that. So they had a couple of small ones, then a really big one. So I assume that, maybe even by next week we should have another really big one. I don't know. We might. But I'd wait for that at least, because the remapping of the buttons on controller, that's the huge one. That's the one that needs to be freaking patched.
As soon as I can get rid of tapping A to run, I will absolutely do that, because I hate it. Yeah. I hope they give you an alternate besides tapping a button, period. Because I just toggle on, toggle off. That's all I want, right?
Yeah. Colin Prime, it's because there's so many abilities and things to do on the controller. There's not enough buttons. That's really what it comes down to. This game is like one of those PC games that, just doesn't work well on controller. Yet they tried to make it work well. But whoever designed it, I still think that they could have done better. Like, you shouldn't have had to tap A to run. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't have to use the triggers and the bumpers together. Like, it should have been another button with, I think that they utilized it in weird ways, unfortunately.
And I also feel like there is...
You play WoW on controller? Oh, well, they've really simplified. Wow.
There's also just... there is something to be said for the fact that a good game doesn't, like, it's probably not the best game design either to have so many systems, because like, even playing God of War 2018, like, I was buying the skill upgrades, but I was like, I'm never going to remember to do that. I'm never going to remember to do that. I'm never going to remember, and it was like, that was a simpler game than this. So, like, especially for combat things, if you're talking about like the puzzle things, a lot of times it will pop up and kind of remind you, like, here's the controls for this, right? Like the nature force thing, right? It'll be like, use Y and B together to move this. But like combat, like, do you really need that many things?
Yeah.
Do you really? Like, you probably actually don't.
No, but I find myself trying to use more and more when I'm fighting. Like I said, I even go to the wrestling, the unarmed to the armed, to my dual wield, to my freaking double-handed sword. Like, I try to change it up all the time while I'm fighting. But there's certain move sets that I'm never going to use. I'm like, that's just not going to be in my bag of tricks. But there's stuff that you can unlock later that I haven't unlocked that look like it's going to help out a lot during boss fights and stuff. So that's just something else on your plate, though, that you've got to learn to use at the same time. So there's so much to do on a controller. I don't know. I don't know how you simplify everything.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, if you guys like the game, though, if you're interested, like I said, wait for more patches, or at least the remapping of the buttons. That is the big one that I'm definitely going to remap some of it. But I've already learned so much with some of it that I'm not going to change a lot of it. So I think I'm just going to remap like the triggers, because the triggers are just awful to use in certain scenarios. I hate them. I hate using triggers like that in games like this. Triggers for me are like for shooters. Or if I'm in the archery. By the way, there was one thing in the archery, which, by the way, I heard they nerfed. They nerfed some of the bosses, too, and I'm like, I would rather them not nerf the bosses, but just fix everything else. Because
fix the controls and things to make it,
If I was able to get through, some of these bosses that were tough, that people were complaining about, anybody can. Like, I'm old. And my hands don't work the same way as younger folks anymore. And I still was able to do it. Yes, it's frustrating, but you'll get through it. But there was one thing they nerfed that they had to. It was awful. And I don't think you got there yet. Did you do the archery contest?
No, but I've heard that it is god awful.
So they fixed it. They fixed it. So you don't have to go through the frustration that I did. So you go to this archery contest. It's a main mission too. So if you don't beat it, you got to keep playing it till you do, because you're not going to move the story.
Oh,
along.
that sucks. That sucks.
So anyways, but again, they fixed it. But when I played it, it was total ass. So you're on these boxes. You got your competitor next to you, and they have these targets that pop up in different areas, and they'll pop up one by one in different areas. And you got to shoot them. Whoever hits it first breaks it. That motherfucker was shooting it before they even popped up. So all of a sudden, I hear this arrow go, and then it pops up, and it breaks it right away. And I'm like, how the fuck am I going to do that? Like, aimbotting.
So you had to learn the pattern and just shoot ahead of it?
No, there's no pattern. So it's all random. But this freaking aimbotting bitch was just shooting everything before I could even shoot. And I was like, okay, maybe this is just me. Maybe it's a bug. I looked it up, and people were fucking pulling their hair out saying that this is ridiculous. And it kept telling you best 3 out of 3, right? Or no, 3 win streak. You had to win 3 times in a row. And I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm going to do this. Because I've got fucking Robin Hood here just fucking destroying everything. So I'm just like, I'm even trying to fucking shoot first to time it. Okay, maybe it's going to be over there. And, of course, it's on the other side. So I just felt like an ass. And then I find out, and I'm embarrassed to say this, 45 minutes into this stupid little challenge.
And many curse words later.
I looked it up finally, and people were like, you only need to win 1 time. And I'm like, you're fucking kidding me. I thought I had to
advance the story.
3 win streak. Yes. So I was like, what? It kept saying, don't go away now. And it had the 1 out of 3. And I was like, no, I got to keep going. I got to get this 3 win streak. No, you just need to win once. And at that point, I said, okay, I go up there. And of course, Robin Hood shooting everything before it even pops up. So I keep losing. Finally, I won one, and I just walked away, and I got to progress the story. But it's shit like that they don't fucking tell you. It's like, oh, you only have to win once. No, it showed up in the top. Win streak. 0 out of 3, 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3. Mm-hmm. Well, it was never 2 out of 3, because there's no fucking way you were beating them twice in a row. They were awful, and it was the worst thing ever. So that had to be nerfed. I haven't went back to try it again because you can go back and play, but I should see how different it is. But yeah, Steel Fax knows. He says that Archery Challenge was hard as fuck. It was so damn hard, ridiculously hard.
I heard that from multiple people.
Gosh,
I didn't know it was a main mission though. Main mission is a whole other like.
Yep.
I don't like that. I didn't even like that the first mission in town was the arm wrestling thing.
The arm wrestling, that was even kind of weird.
That was
right?
tough. It was a little weird. I tried it before the patch. I went in there and I did it like once or twice and I lost and I was like, all right, whatever, I don't care. And I walked away and not knowing that was like I had to do that to go to the next.
They patched that too?
Yeah, and then I went back later. I was like, oh, shoot, I guess I do actually really have to do this. Crap, because it's a QTE. I hate QTEs. So I went back, and it was after the patch, and it was way easier. So
they did fix it. Okay. That one was a little frustrating, but it wasn't that bad. The archery was on another level of freaking bad. Gosh, that was so bad. There's no NPC that should ever... shoot before the target comes up. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. I don't know how that passed any play testing or anything. It was bad.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, that is the show. Again, if you're playing the game, have a blast. Don't take anything too seriously. If you get frustrated, put the controller down. That's what I do now. Like, when I get frustrated, I put it down, and I'll go relax for a half an hour, come back and try to freaking do the same thing. And I usually beat it when I come back, level-headed and calm. But yeah, Hargeet, welcome back. I know you had to move your car, but it's the end of the show. Let everybody know. I'm sorry you couldn't really talk about Crimson Desert because you're not playing it, but we had a lot to say. That was a lot. But anyways, Hargeet, let everybody know where they can find you. I'm glad we talked about a game.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's nice to talk about games.
Yes, on a gaming podcast.
So Boom is not going to have his show tomorrow, and then Friday I'll be at PAX East, so I'm not going to be on with C Money and Doodle. So next up I'll be on with Web Dave on Sunday at 7 p.m. US Eastern. Check that out, and then we'll be back next week, and we can hopefully talk about stuff that came out in PAX. So hopefully
and also the showcase and all that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Thursday we'll have a showcase. So
yep. And Thatch, you just missed an hour. What are your thoughts on Crimson Desert? I'll just tell you, I love it currently, but there's a lot of growing pains. Go listen to the last hour. Me and That Blue Number had a lot to say. Holly, where can people find you?
You can find me on my YouTube and Twitter, all under this name, That Blue Number. I do live stream and I occasionally make videos. I'd like to do that more often. Fingers crossed. So I will be doing a video on 007 coming up in the next couple weeks or so, because we are getting a little bit closer to that. And I am going to do a lore series on Exodus. So if you're interested in Exodus, I'm working on it. There is so much lore around the universe for this that it's really like it's difficult to like compose the thoughts and put them in coherent spaces. So it's going to be a long process. But thanks for having me, guys. Again,
of course. It's
fun
always good to have
you guys.
Yeah, it's always fun, and you feel free to come whenever. We have a blast with you. It's good talks. Anyways, thank you for coming out, everybody. If you're playing the game, hit me up on Twitter and we can talk about it there as well. Like, honestly, if you got any questions about anything, you may be farther than me, I may have questions for you, but 53 hours in and about to get at least another 4 tonight. And I see you, Epic Treasure. She's loving the game as well. Anyways, thank you for being here, guys. And with that said, till next time, game on.